Flosstubers and cross-stitch enthusiasts, it's Irene. This is my first video where I will speak to you in person. It's a gloomy day here in Texas. It's been raining off and on all day, which from West Texas that's unusual, but I think up here in North Texas where we moved to, it's a little bit probably normal for the season, I would think. So I'm here to update y'all on what I've been working on. This is the Madonna of the Garden, which I showed y'all the pattern for last week. This is how much I've done in about a week. It's really pretty. There's very subtle shading. This whole area has about 5 or 6 different greens in it, and one white. But there's also like a greenish blue color that is almost white, and sometimes I think I've gotten the white dirty, but it's actually the bluish green white color. There's just so much detail. It's so pretty. I really enjoy working on it. It's stitched on a 32 count, I think it's Belfast linen. Even though it's smaller than what I'm used to, I find it really easy to work on. I think maybe it's because it's the color. It's not too dark and it's not too light, so it's really perfect. And gray is my favorite color anyway. So that's really pretty. The next thing I have, I think I got this in November last year. And that's how much I did in about, I would say 2 months, and then I put it away. And then last week I got it out, and this little area right here, I finished it and then filled this in. And then Madonna of the Garden came in the mail, and this got put on the back burner again, so. I also got this yesterday in the mail. It's going to be a Mother's Day gift for my mother-in-law. It's the Lizzie Kate mothers. The mothers hold their children's hands for a while. It is on a 28 count sparkly linen. Even though it's a larger count, thread count, it's been a little difficult to work with. There's like bigger holes that kind of trick your eye into thinking that's the place you need to go when you're stitching, but really it's like you're either doing it over one, or like you're doing it over one, or you're actually going over 3 instead of over 2. And I've actually had to rip out some stuff because I was off by half a step in the lettering. It's been pretty difficult to work with. I mean, it kind of has like a pattern in the fabric too, so maybe that's what's making it a little bit more difficult, the lightness and then the staining pattern. But I mean, it's really pretty. It'll be pretty when it's done, and I think I've got the hang of it, so let's see, we'll hope. And this one I started, but it's not really a work in progress. It's just something I started to get my mind off some things. I kind of have anxiety, and that really came about. I had a little bit of anxiety before I had my son. It was manageable, but then about 5 months after I had my son, we were getting ready to start moving to Fort Worth from West Texas, and then he wasn't sleeping a lot. He was waking up every couple hours in the night. After being a really good baby who slept, like starting around 2 months, he slept for like 8 or 9 hours straight. And so I got spoiled. But I think it was because he was going through separation anxiety, which is a mental growth thing. So, I mean, he's growing, so that was positive, but the lack of sleep wasn't helping. So I developed anxiety, and then it got to the point where it was too much to handle, so I talked to my doctor, which you should if you're having anxiety, but also find something that helps you cope, and this helped get my mind off of what was making me anxious because it is so detailed. Look at how many colors. You can't focus on anything else. You have to pay attention to the colors, and that's what I love about cross-stitching. Even when I wasn't anxious, it's relaxing. I think everyone should start doing it because it's just so relaxing. And just so many colors, but I think this will be one of those projects where you keep it in your work in progress piles, but you really just, it's gonna take you like 10 years to do it because that's how often you work on it. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of my stash. Y'all saw this last week. I'm sorry for the shine. The crown sampler. I think I'm gonna start this in the summer after I get a couple of my works in progress done. I got this at Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago. My mother-in-law really likes lighthouses, so I got this with her in mind. So hopefully one day I'll start that and do it. We'll see. And I got this. Sorry, I have to take it out of the bag. It's really shiny. I got this one on eBay. It's a Thomas Kincaid. Look at all those French nuts. Oh my gosh. I know. I think once I get the hang of it, it'll be fine. But, you know. But I got this with her in mind also. I'm not trying to give away the pattern, but look at how complicated that looks. It's all one color, so that'll be really awesome for my eyeballs. Not. Anyway, I hope that I can start working on that someday. And then I also got this at Hobby Lobby the other day with the lighthouse. It's a butterfly. I don't know if you can see, obviously. I was going to make this for our downstairs bathroom, I think, because there's purple. And this is like a purpley flower. So, you know, pinkish purple. And there's already a picture of flowers down there, so it'll be super great. Hopefully I'll work on it because the thing with your stash is you keep getting more. You just accumulate your stash. So, I mean, yeah. We all know how that goes, right? Well, a little bit about myself. I live in Texas, in Fort Worth. I've been married for almost 3 years to an awesome dude. He's an engineer. I'm a stay-at-home mom, which is a job. We have a 14-month-old son. Brain fart. Really bad. We have a 14-month-old son. He's super cute. He's a handful, but he's so awesome. I know every parent thinks their kid's so awesome, but he's pretty awesome. I started cross-stitching probably 2 to 2.5 years ago. I started needle pointing first, and then, because my mom, she does needlepoint and cross-stitch, so I took something from her needlepoint stash. It was this huge Noah's Ark painted canvas. And then I realized how expensive needlepointing can be because you have to buy the canvas, unless you get it from your mom's or from someone else. You have to buy the fibers, which can be, for as many as you need to cover the canvas, can be just as much as the canvas because they're specialty fibers. And then it's not as easy to finish needle pointing as it is cross stitching because I think it's a more involved process, at least for the way I've just been framing my cross stitches, and I've seen people like make pillows and stuff out of their cross stitch. But the needlepoint is like a plastic, cottony, harder canvas, so most of the time, unless you have been taught how to do it, you have to take it to a finisher, and that can be a lot of money too. Like, I did a needlepoint coin purse, like this big. The canvas was, I think, $50, and I probably spent $30 or $40. This one I didn't use, maybe not that much because I used mostly cotton fibers. So I probably spent like $25 on fiber. And then to finish it was about $70. After that I was like, okay, here we go. This is gonna be too much money. So I looked into doing cross stitch, and the very first cross stitch that I did was for my dad. And I don't know if you've seen it on Etsy or not. It's the Darth Vader helmet, and then it has the banner, and it says Father, and then there's 2 roses. Picture me as a Darth Vader helmet. And that was my very first cross stitch, and I didn't know what I was doing because the person I bought it from, I asked for some help, like advice, because it's my first cross stitch, and she didn't really give me much advice. I asked what type of fabric to buy, like what count fabric, because as much knowledge as I had, I knew that there was a thread count for the fabric. I didn't, and like, that was no help there. She basically didn't answer my question, which is fine. But I think I did it on 16 count, I'm not sure. And then I bought way too much thread. I probably needed, well, it's mainly black, but I needed probably just 1 skein of black, maybe 2 to be on the safe side. I bought 4. And I bought like 2 or 3 of the other colors that were in there. I bought way too much thread. So that was, you know, a learning curve a little bit. But I did it, and it's really nice. So yeah, that was my first cross stitch, and I've done a couple more projects since then. I tend to start and then not finish stuff, especially if they're gifts, because sometimes, I know that's bad, but if they're gifts, I don't necessarily like what I'm cross-stitching, because it's not my taste, but I'm doing it for the taste of the others. But I find I lose motivation if I don't like it. So that's hard. But, well, I guess that's all for today. I've been rambling a little bit, so sorry. I'm going to try and post a video once a week, probably every Friday. So look for that. And thanks. I'll see y'all later. Bye.